In a world filled with fleeting smiles, half-hearted promises, and relationships that feel more like transactions than genuine connections, how do we know who deserves our trust? How do we discern those who truly add value to our lives from those who drain our peace and energy? These are not just questions for modern life. They are timeless dilemmas that the ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, faced as well. Today, we will explore 9 types of people who, according to the principles of Stoicism, may not deserve your trust or respect. This video is not about sowing distrust. Rather, it's a guide to recognizing behaviors that could threaten your inner tranquility and sense of self. As the Stoics teach, while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we respond to them. Join me on this journey of self-awareness, where we dissect the traits of those who may bring chaos into our lives and learn how to protect our peace and maintain our integrity. Let us navigate these complexities together, ensuring that by the end, you'll be better equipped to face the world, not with paranoia, but with a clarity that illuminates the true character of those around you. Stay with me, for each insight could be the key to safeguarding your peace of mind. 1. The two-faced individual, a master of deception. Imagine this, a person who makes you feel like a confidant, someone who listens intently to your stories, nods in agreement, and even offers a warm smile. But when you are not around, this same person engages in gossip, undermines you, and uses your vulnerabilities as ammunition for their own social gain. The Stoics would warn us about such people, for they embody the antithesis of sincerity. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal from someone you trusted? The two-faced individual is often charming and friendly on the surface, but beneath the mask lies a cunning strategy. Their goal is not to build genuine connections, but to manipulate others to achieve their ends. Marcus Aurelius, in his Reflections, might remind us that our task is not to change these individuals, but to understand their nature and choose our response wisely. When faced with this kind of duplicity, the Stoic path encourages us to maintain our own integrity. Seneca famously advised that it is better to be alone than in bad company. Think about this. Why should you allow someone's deceit to disturb your peace? Isn't it better to be surrounded by a small circle of true friends than by many who wear masks? But how do we respond when the hurt of betrayal stings so deeply? Stoicism teaches us that our initial reaction, anger, disappointment, is a natural response to the violation of trust. Yet, beyond this emotional wave lies a choice. Will you allow their actions to dictate your mood, or will you rise above, choosing instead to uphold your values of honesty and virtue? Reflect on this. By focusing on your own behavior and distancing yourself from those who prove untrustworthy, you preserve your inner strength. You turn the power back to yourself, refusing to be a pawn in their deceptive game. Moving beyond the hurt and stepping away from the toxic influence of a two-faced person does not mean you are weak. It means you value your own peace over the chaos they bring. And in doing so, you make space for genuine connections that align with the virtues of Stoicism: honesty, integrity, and mutual respect. Now that we have seen the harm a two-faced individual can cause, let us turn to another type of person whose manipulative nature often goes unnoticed at first: the manipulator. 2. The manipulator, a master of control. At first, a manipulator might seem like the best listener you've ever met. They seem to understand you deeply, nodding at just the right moments and offering words of empathy that feel like a warm embrace. But as time passes, a darker pattern begins to emerge. Have you ever noticed someone using your own words and feelings against you, steering you toward decisions that benefit them more than they benefit you? This is the subtle art of manipulation, and it is a dangerous force that can infiltrate your life unnoticed. Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity over comfort, to look beyond the surface and see the true nature of those around us. Marcus Aurelius might have advised us to observe not only what people say, but more importantly, what they do. A manipulative person listens, but not with the intention of offering support. Instead, they are gathering information, using your words as tools in their strategic game. Imagine sharing a vulnerable moment with someone, believing that they care, only to realize that your openness has been used as leverage. This kind of betrayal can be disorienting, making you question your own judgment. Yet, the Stoic response to such a situation is not to dwell on the injury, but to learn from it. Epictetus taught that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we perceive those actions and how we choose to respond. So, ask yourself, are you sharing too much with someone whose motives are unclear? Are your boundaries strong enough to protect your peace? The path to dealing with a manipulator is one of selective sharing and firm boundaries. Not every thought or feeling needs to be exposed, especially to someone who may use it for their gain. Instead, reserve your trust for those who have shown themselves to be genuine over time. As you distance yourself from manipulative influences, you will find that your relationships become more supportive, more aligned with the Stoic principles of mutual respect and honesty. As we step away from the subtle webs spun by manipulators, let's turn our attention to a different, yet equally draining type of person, the constant critic. 3. The constant critic, a source of relentless negativity. Criticism, when given with care, can be a gift that helps us grow. But what happens when that criticism becomes a relentless barrage, chipping away at your self-esteem and creativity? The constant critic finds fault in everything you do, from the smallest of decisions to your most personal aspirations. They might claim they are just being honest, but their words often lack the warmth of constructive feedback, feeling more like daggers aimed at your confidence. Have you ever found yourself hesitating to share your ideas or express yourself because you fear judgment from a particular person? This is the insidious effect of the constant critic. In the Stoic view, such negativity is a reflection of their own internal struggles rather than an accurate assessment of your worth. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." In other words, the impact of criticism depends on how much power we give to the words of others. How do we decide what to take to heart and what to discard? Stoicism advises us to analyze criticism for any truth it may hold. Is there a lesson here that could help you improve? If so, take it to heart and use it as a stepping stone for growth. But if their feedback is merely harsh and unhelpful, let it roll off your back like rainwater off a sturdy roof. Remember, you control how you react to the words of others. Establishing boundaries with a constant critic can be essential. This might mean limiting how much you share with them, or politely asserting that their input is not always needed. As you reclaim your space, you'll find that your creativity and confidence have more room to flourish. If you're finding these insights valuable, I encourage you to watch the video all the way through. Every point we discuss today is a building block for a deeper understanding of human relationships and how to navigate them with stoicism. Don't miss out on the wisdom that can help you protect your peace of mind. With the constant critic behind us, let us now delve into the world of social interactions that lack substance, the superficially friendly person. 4. The superficially friendly person, shallow waters. They seem to be everywhere. Bright smiles, friendly greetings, always at the center of social gatherings. These individuals are like social butterflies, moving gracefully from one group to another. Yet, when the storm comes, their presence disappears, revealing the true shallowness of their friendliness. Their warmth is as fleeting as a summer breeze, leaving you wondering if there was ever any genuine connection beneath the surface. What makes true friendship? Is it just shared laughs and light-hearted moments? Or does it run deeper, standing firm when times get tough? Stoicism teaches us to value quality over quantity in our relationships. Seneca, in his Reflections, emphasized that a small circle of true friends is far more valuable than a large network of acquaintances. Have you ever felt alone in a crowd, realizing that those around you are not truly invested in your well-being? It is important to recognize the difference between those who are merely polite and those who are genuinely present in your life. A superficially friendly person may brighten a party but vanish when you need a listening ear or a shoulder to lean on. Stoicism guides us to be discerning with our emotional investments. Why waste energy on those who do not reciprocate it? Enjoy the company of these individuals if you must, but keep your heart guarded. Reserve the depths of your trust for those who have proven themselves to be steadfast, both in joy and adversity. By doing so, you align your relationships with the Stoic ideal of mutual respect and sincerity. From the social butterfly who floats on the surface, let's move to a different kind of frustration: the inattentive listener, who might be present in body but absent in mind. 5. The inattentive listener, an empty presence. Imagine speaking to someone, sharing a story or a struggle, and seeing their eyes glaze over. They might nod or offer a polite, "uh-huh," but you can sense their mind is miles away. This inattentiveness can be deeply frustrating, especially when you are seeking a genuine connection. Have you ever felt like you were talking to a wall, where the echo of your own voice is the only response you receive? In Stoic philosophy, the concept of present-mindedness is vital. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of engaging fully with the present moment, whether in thought or action. True listening is not just a courtesy, it is a sign of respect for the person speaking. If someone consistently fails to give you their attention, it's a clear indication that they may not value what you have to say. So ask yourself, is this a relationship worth nurturing? Of course, communication is a two-way street. Sometimes a more engaging way of speaking or asking direct questions can pull a distracted listener back into the conversation. But if this pattern of inattentiveness persists, it might be time to reassess their role in your life. Why invest your emotional energy in someone who isn't truly there for you? Have you ever dealt with an inattentive listener? How did you handle it? And what advice would you give to others facing a similar situation? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's learn from one another's insights. Now, having explored those who might seem absent in mind, we shift our focus to those who lack empathy altogether, the empathy-lacking person. 6. The empathy-lacking person, blind to others' emotions. We all encounter people who seem unable to understand or acknowledge the feelings of others. They dominate conversations, focusing solely on their achievements, their struggles, their viewpoints. To them, your emotions might seem like distractions, easily dismissed or ignored. In their world, empathy is scarce, and they rarely take the time to see life from another's perspective. Have you ever felt invisible in a conversation, as though your experiences did not matter? This is the essence of dealing with someone who lacks empathy. Such interactions can be deeply isolating, making you feel as if your thoughts and emotions are insignificant. Yet, Stoicism offers a path to navigate these challenging dynamics. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot change others, we have control over our reactions to them. Epictetus taught that understanding the interconnectedness of the human experience is essential to living a virtuous life. But what do we do when someone disregards this fundamental aspect of our shared humanity? Is it possible to remain compassionate without becoming a victim of their self-centeredness? The answer lies in balance. Stoicism advises showing empathy not necessarily because others deserve it, but because it reflects your own values. Yet, it also warns against allowing such people to disrupt your peace. Practice patience with them, but also recognize when to set boundaries. If their lack of empathy drains your emotional reserves, it may be time to limit your interactions. Think of it as a form of self-preservation, a way to maintain your own sense of tranquility. By engaging with empathy-lacking individuals from a place of strength and setting clear boundaries, you protect your emotional well-being without sacrificing your principles. And in doing so, you embody the Stoic ideal, living according to your own values, regardless of how others choose to act. Now, let's shift our focus from those who ignore your emotions to those who seem to derive pleasure from disrupting your peace, the constant irritator. 7. The constant irritator, thriving on disruption. There are some people who seem to take pleasure in knowing exactly how to get under your skin. Their remarks are often subtle but calculated, designed to provoke a reaction. A backhanded compliment here, a slight dig there, and before you know it, you find yourself feeling unsettled, even angry. But the more they see you react, the more satisfied they seem. Have you ever met someone who seemed to enjoy creating tension, using irritation as a way to maintain control? Stoicism teaches that while we cannot prevent others from trying to provoke us, we have the power to control our response. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The actions of a constant irritator are beyond your control, but your reaction to them is not. This realization is your shield against their attempts to unsettle you. Why let their words hold power over you? Why allow someone else's behavior to dictate your emotional state? Stoicism encourages us to recognize the intent behind others' actions without letting it dominate our minds. Picture their words as waves crashing against a sturdy cliff. The waves might roar and surge, but the cliff stands firm, unmoved. Can you adopt this mindset, allowing their provocations to fade into background noise? Practicing this form of Stoic detachment allows you to reclaim your peace. It's not about pretending the irritations don't exist, but rather choosing not to let them disturb your inner calm. When you refuse to react, you take away the reward they seek. You become a master of your emotions rather than a puppet of their manipulations. From those who seek to disrupt our tranquility, we now turn to a different challenge, dealing with those who dwell in a perpetual state of crisis, the eternal victim. 8. The eternal victim, trapped in a cycle of woe. Every day seems to bring a new crisis for the eternal victim. No matter the season or the circumstance, they always have a new tale of misfortune. At first, you may feel a sense of purpose in offering your support. But over time, you begin to notice a pattern. No problem ever seems to get resolved. Instead, their woes become a constant backdrop, drawing you into their world of endless negativity. Do you know someone like this, whose problems seem to grow despite your best efforts to help? The Stoics would caution us to understand our limits when dealing with such individuals. As Epictetus taught, we should focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. Can you control another person's life or their choices? But you can control how much you allow their crises to impact your own peace. It's easy to feel trapped in a one-sided relationship with an eternal victim, where your needs are overshadowed by their constant struggles. You may even begin to feel responsible for their well-being, as if it is your duty to solve their problems. But Stoicism reminds us that while empathy is virtuous, it must be balanced with a sense of detachment. You are not responsible for fixing their life, especially when they show little inclination to change their situation themselves. Instead, offer guidance when it's appropriate, but don't allow yourself to be swept up in their cycle of despair. Encourage them to seek solutions and take action, rather than simply consoling them. By doing so, you not only protect your own mental space, but also promote the Stoic value of self-reliance. And if their troubles continue to encroach on your peace despite your boundaries, it might be time to reevaluate how much time and energy you can afford to give. As we move from those caught in endless crises, let's address the influence of those who are masters of manipulation and self-interest, the toxic individual. 9. The toxic individual, a source of poisonous influence. The toxic person is a complex blend of many damaging traits: manipulation, jealousy, constant negativity, and dishonesty. Their presence feels like a storm that clouds your thoughts, making you doubt your own worth and abilities. Have you ever been around someone who seems to turn every joyful moment into a burden or every strength into a perceived weakness? The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, would remind us that it's not what happens to us, but how we react to it that truly matters. When dealing with a toxic individual, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, as if their negativity has a way of seeping into every corner of your life. But here lies the essence of Stoicism: learning to maintain your equanimity even in the face of adversity. Setting firm boundaries with a toxic person is essential. Define clearly what behavior you will not tolerate, and be consistent in enforcing these limits. This is not just about pushing them away. It's about protecting your own mental and emotional well-being. Why should you sacrifice your peace of mind for someone who consistently brings you down? But what if this person is a close friend or family member, making it difficult to simply walk away? Stoicism advises a balanced approach, practicing empathy while recognizing that your primary responsibility is to maintain your own inner tranquility. If the situation becomes too draining, it may be necessary to distance yourself, even if it means making a difficult decision. Surround yourself with those who support your growth and reflect the values of honesty and respect. By choosing to protect your space, you affirm that your life is guided by your values, not the chaos of others. This is a practice in self-mastery, the kind that Stoics like Marcus Aurelius emphasized: maintaining your integrity and well-being regardless of the storms others try to create. Now that we have explored the 9 types of people who can challenge our peace, remember that Stoicism is not just about identifying negative influences. It's about knowing how to respond in a way that keeps you true to yourself. Life is full of people with different intentions, and some of those intentions may not align with your well-being. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate discernment, understanding who deserves our trust and who does not. Whether it's the two-faced individual, the manipulator, the constant critic, or others, each type of person challenges us to remain steadfast in our pursuit of inner tranquility. By applying Stoic principles, like setting boundaries, practicing selective empathy, and focusing on what is within our control, we become better equipped to navigate these relationships without losing ourselves. You have the power to shape your environment, to choose who you allow into your circle, and to protect your peace of mind. Call to action. If you found this discussion insightful, please like this video, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to join our community of those seeking wisdom and inner peace. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How have you dealt with these challenging people in your own life? I'd love to hear your stories and learn from your experiences. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Until next time, stay wise, stay serene, and continue to cultivate your own Stoic path.